as we start, but we can do a quick exam prep as well. I said that I would be doing that, but to be honest with you, we rewatched the video I posted, and that video has like me going question by question and addressing those points. So I think if for exam prep, that video would probably be better. And then if you guys have questions, we can address those questions on this call. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just logging in to hear what was happening. I'll watch that video. That sounds good. I already took the test, so I wish I would have watched that first. That's okay.
I think I'll just watch the video because I was curious on when it says the payroll forms, if it's just asking how to fill out a form, or if like, I think it was more of just a broad, how much detail do we need to know about all the different types of forms and so forth?
Well, so to address that specifically, it's more general. So like what's FUTA and SUTA and FICA, like what do those stand for? Like what's a person's take-home pay? What's the term for that? Is it gross pay, total pay, net pay? And that's, net pay of what you're actually taking home.
And then like for the W-4 and W-2, does it ask more details like on how you calculate that, or is it just more of what the different forms are for?
Yeah, just more of what the different forms are for. So like one question specifically is, it says, is it necessary to submit the document W-4 to the IRS? So you'd have to know like, well, what is a W-4 first off, and how do you use the W-4? So W-4 is used to, calculate a person's tax withholding, but you don't need to submit that to the IRS. W-2 is different, and W-2 is what you give to employees, and they ultimately submit it to IRS.
Yeah, because I just need to go back and review all those forms because it's been a while since we studied those. So I'm like 941, what is that? So I'll just have to read through it.
Yeah, the 941 is the quarterly reporting for payroll taxes. So that's the form that you report, and that is a question. So one of the questions is, what is the name of the form that is filed quarterly to report quarterly income and FICA taxes withheld from paychecks? So an employer would create and fill out that 941 and then issue that to the IRS. And that's what the 941 is. And then, yeah, so it's a mix between multiple choice and kind of essay questions. Some of the essay questions are like, how do you pay a bill? Like, what's the step? You go in and you hit the new button, you go to pay bills, you issue bills, things like that. And yeah, that video I posted kind of goes in detail more than what I'm doing here, but it explains almost question by question what you'll see.
Any retakes on the test?
I don't know. I had some, usually I've never done that before, to be honest with you, but I did have someone request that, and I'm considering it. And if I let one person do it, I'll open it up for everyone. Okay. But I've never done it in the past. So
gotcha. I
have to think about it. And I won't reopen it until Friday, most likely. If I do decide to do that. So we'll see.
Well, I have just a small question on April's books or April's PDF. If you want to go
Okay.
there, or is there other stuff you want to cover?
No, this is your time. I'm open to whatever you want to address.
Okay, so in April on page 171, they purchased a stacker for the warehouse. And I think there's 3 parts to this, in that you have to prepare a check, and then you need to set up the note for 5 years at 6%. And probably also with a journal entry, I'm guessing, and then also set up a bill pay. Does that look right?
Yeah, so let me, I guess, walk you through. I'll share my screen because there's multiple steps with what you're saying.
Yeah.
So page 171, it says, we purchased a stacker for the warehouse. Please prepare a check to Hyper House for $10,000 down payment with a note for $145,000 balance. The note is a 5-year, 6% arrangement. Payments begin on May 1st. So it's $155,000 total between the 145 and 10,000. So it's multiple steps. First, we prepare a check, and that check is a down payment to a capital asset, this stacker. So I think this might be something good to actually show. Can I just, I guess, do it for you and kind of show you? And if you want,
Sure.
you can delete all my activity, or you
Well,
can just keep
I've
what I
actually,
do. But,
I've tried it, so you can go in and see if I did it right, if you want.
oh, perfect.
Okay.
I like that option as well. So let me stop sharing, and I'll share my complete screen this time instead of just one. Oh yeah, right. I gotta access the educational portal instead of my Lopez portal. And we are with Melanie Cooper.
Condor.
Yes, sorry. Okay, so let me share my screen again. How do you, is it Condor or Condor? I've asked that question before.
Yeah,
haven't I?
ER, like Condor.
Condor. Yeah.
But we get that a lot, like the big bird. Yes.
So let's see here. I'm going to see what has been done. Oh, there's only 30 days in April. So we have our warehouse equipment for 155. So that looks correct. You have a check for 10,000. That is correct. It's on the 18th.
It looked like
Perfect.
it froze. I can just see the main screen of Wasatch out of it.
Why does it do that to me? That happens all the time to me, and I don't know why. Okay, is that better?
There we go. Yeah.
Yes. So so you created a check for $10,000 to Hyper Warehouse. Perfect. And that's the down payment. The down payment gets capitalized for $10,000. And then we created a note for $145,000 and a total of $155,000. Now that note should be on your balance sheet. Is it still following me?
Yes.
So you can see the long-term
I
liabilities.
see the transaction report.
Not, it didn't follow me to your balance sheet, huh?
There's the balance sheet.
Okay. Then I scroll down to long-term liabilities and it's showing the 145,000, which is correct.
Okay, so I had to make a new account because that long-term liabilities was not in the chart of accounts. So I had to do that before I made the journal entry.
That's fine. I'm trying to think. Let's see what your balance sheet shows. So here it's a note payable. Is there a note payable on your chart of accounts that already existed?
I don't know. Let's see. I mean, I
No.
created that today before I did it.
Right.
Was it supposed to
Okay.
be notes payable or?
Yeah, so according to like the backup by PDF, what we're trying to aim for and what we're trying to get is, long-term liabilities, 2,600 notes payable. What you have is 2,600 long-term liabilities, detail type notes payable. So honestly, it's basically the same. It's just not titled the same. And for
Oh.
me, I don't really care because your balance sheet, the total liabilities are going to be the same. Whether it's labeled the same or not isn't a big deal to me.
Okay.
But yes, you should have your long-term liabilities 145,000, and then for May there's going to be a payable that offsets this note payable for the principal, and then a separate line item for interest.
Oh, I did not do that. I figured out the payment amount and then I just put it under a bill that's recurring, but maybe that's the wrong spot.
Well, for April, you don't have to do anything. Are you saying
Yeah.
you did that for May?
Yeah, because it said starting May 1st. So I tried to set up a recurring bill template or something, but I didn't
Right.
split the interest and the principal.
Got it. So I think there's an amortization schedule in the documents.
Oh, there it is.
Yes, or there should be. And if there's not, then I might be able to, perhaps I need to share it with you.
Yeah, I just went into Excel and figured the payment, but I didn't do the schedule.
Let's see, the modules.
So you're saying we would divide that between interest expense and, or that payment, May 1st payment.
Yes. Trying to think. Doesn't look
So
like
is that a
this one
journal
is.
entry again come May 1st or?
No, you could do a journal entry, that's fine, but usually it's a check or a bill, right? That comes due each month that we have to pay to the bank or the note holder,
Okay.
whoever owns the loan. So we would do a bill for, and have separate line items. We'd have line item 1, we'd have the principal for our principal amount, we'd have, and then line item 2, interest expense for the interest amount.
Okay.
I
That makes sense.
wonder, so did you open up?
I just need to add one item to my bill then, or because I put it all under payment.
Please make certain to apply principal and interest of this payment memo. See stacker amortization schedule.
Oh, so maybe that's in May's and I just opened up April's.
Yeah, that's in May, the first payment, May 1st. Where is the stacker amortization schedule? You should find a stacker amortization schedule somewhere.
Well, it wasn't
Payroll
in
grading.
April's. Maybe if you scroll down in May farther or somewhere.
Yeah. Quarter. Oh, here we go. May documents due. No, it's not in that one. Not in that one. This is June information. Let's see. And I have the files. And mine looks different than yours, obviously.
Hmm.
Where's the stacker amortization schedule? I have all this stuff. Can't just search it, huh? Stacker. Nope. Oh, here we go. Assets. Depreciation schedule, payment tables. New building amortization schedule, equipment, no amortization schedule. So yes, I have an amortization schedule here. If we can't, if it's not in your, like, as you go through, then let me know and I can make sure to make it available.
Okay.
Only available to students with this link. Why is that? I want to publish that. Inherit from course. Public. Update. It didn't change anything. But that's not until May anyways, but
Okay.
yeah, if you can't find it, let me know and I'll post it to the announcements.
Great.
And that will give you like how to break it out into 2 different line items. Because this is a building and you'll see that later on too.
Okay, I do have another question besides the PDFs. Do you have any tips to practice 9-key entry? How do you type your numbers in?
With the, yeah, the 10 key, the 9 key.
Yeah, I mean, I can type, but I've never learned the numbers very well. Are you aware of any practice modules or?
No, I am not actually. And I've just become used to it just through time. Spending a lot of time typing in numbers. But my keyboard has a 10 key on it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some kind of games out there you could play. Maybe just Google 10 key games. 10 key games on bowl schedule, including January. No, 10 key typing test.
Oh.
Learn10key.com, free data entry tests. I don't know. I'm sure there's some fun games that you could actually do.
It's a good idea.
Ooh, now I'm going down a rabbit hole, but I don't like to accept anything that I haven't read. But yeah, I don't have any tricks other than just playing with it and practicing. That's what I've always done.
Okay. Oh, I guess one last thing. On that bill pay that I set up for the loan, I tried to start it May 1st, and then QuickBooks said you can't do anything before today's date on that template. So do you just, you're aware that it comes due every month and
So if you do a bill pay template, you can do, is it Hyper Warehouse that we have the
Yeah.
loan with?
yes.
And you can do May 1st, 2022. In category, we'll have the loan or payable, no, long-term liabilities is what we put it to. Description, and this is where that note payable is going to come into handy. Where we have the issue with automating it is the interest and principal is going to change every month.
Oh, right.
So you could automate a payment and then you'd have to approve it every month because you'd have to go in and enter the interest at 725, principal at 2078, and then the next month you'll have to change it to 714, 2088.
Right. Okay.
And then, you know, we'll want to reconcile this balance to our balance sheet every month and reconcile this amount to our P&L every month. So yeah, I don't know if you want to automate it now that I'm thinking out loud on it.
Yeah, that makes
You could-
sense.
Yeah, you could go in and enter all these entries though all at once. And do a new bill, do a new expense, and just put them all in at once so you're done with them. But you might get confused as you go through the PDF when it pops up and you see it and you're like, oh, I gotta do that. And you've already done it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, that helps. That, I think that's the part I was hung up on, is step 3 with that bill.
okay. Okay, well, cool. Well, I'm gonna, I'll post this video as well, but I'm gonna try to, I guess, guide everyone to using that other video. Oh, we have other people.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Melanie. Does Magda or Briss, do you guys have any questions that you guys want me to address? I didn't see that you guys hopped on.
I have one question.
Okay.
Shall I change the price in products and service on each item when I buy a lower cost? I mean, we have certain the price, the cost and the sale price, but when we make some buy or when we make purchase, I realize that there are some vendors that change the price. So to create the new bill for them, I use create the bill, or I need first go to the products and sales and change product and service, sorry, and change the price there. And once that I made that change, I must to return and change to the original price? Or the
No,
original
so
cost?
you can just create the bill and edit the line item. So you can type in one, you know, quantity, and then you type in the price. And then in the price column, you can change the price on that unique bill. So there's a difference between our standard and actuals. So when we're doing accounting and costing, we have our standard, which we've set, and then we have our actuals, which is what we're actually buying. So you don't need to go and change your standards. You just have to put in the actuals when you're doing the bill.
So
That's
then it could be my mistake because I have some change in cost of goods sold in the previous months. This account never matched because I was changing the cost in that specific products.
Yeah, so it shouldn't, because your actuals are what's going to update your information. So even though you have your standards, what you put in as your actual, so as long as you're putting in the bills correctly, then your actuals and your COGS information, because it follows FIFO, first in, first out, it follows that and it takes that. So as long as you're booking your information correctly, it doesn't matter if you've done, went and changed your standards. The standards are more for projections and planning, because you can run a actual versus standard like report, and you can see where you've come out positive or beneficial to what you've been planning. So if you planned on $10 and you paid $8, then it'll give you actuals versus budgeted report. But if you're saying you're off in the COGS, then that might mean that you most likely entered a transaction wrong in one of the inventory, either inventory purchases or inventory sales. Most likely in the purchases, because when you do a sale, it forces you, it forces you to put a product or service in. But when you do a purchase or an expense or a check, sometimes it doesn't require you to put in the product or service. You can just put in a GL account. And I think that might be where you went wrong. That makes sense.
Okay.
I think there were a couple of memos that actually had us change the price in the standards one, and maybe that got her confused, because that's the only
Okay.
time we changed it in the set, but each individual invoice, when the price changes differently, we don't go back into the products and service and change that price.
Yeah. So if it did tell you to change the memo to the standard, then you shouldn't be going back and forth, right? It's just, let's update the standard and go in and change it, but not for individual bills. Is that right, Melanie, that it told us to change
Yes,
the standard?
there were a couple of memos like in January or February that said we are doing a price change. So then you get into products and services and you change it in your inventory.
Yeah.
But
Right.
then I think the memo she's referring to, it does have a different price than what the standard is. And it sounds like she got in and opened up her others and changed the price there rather than just on the invoice, which is what you're trying to say.
Right. Okay. Well, hopefully,
Thank you, Melanie.
but yeah. Yeah. Other questions?
I have a question. I'm not sure if you answer it or not. When it talks about the late fee, it says to use the utility expense. But that one, I'm not sure. It just got me confused because it goes into the same expense account as the bill. So it doesn't separate the late fee from the bill itself. Is that correct?
Let's see, is that in April or March?
That's in April. It
Oh, I
has,
see, okay.
it's the first, so it has the memo at the beginning, like the instructions.
Yeah,
And then on page 148, that says to pay the power bill plus $10 late fee.
yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, on there are a specific case when we must to pay the bill late. In those cases, we need to pay fees. But if not in all months or not in all expense. So on this month, the instruction is that we don't need to record the fees as a separate account, but making a good account we must to do in the future, or when we are going to work for a company, perhaps this will be separate, but we need to follow the instruction for this month.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. So for that payment memo, the total is $320, but $310 plus $10 late fee. But the instructions say just code everything to utilities. So it'd be a $320 utility fee or expense, and you don't have to worry about coding a $10 late fee or track that at all. It just will get put into the utility expense.
so just put it as a total price, like,
Yeah,
Oh.
that total is 320.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Chris, if you would like, I can stay on and try to hunt down some of your COGS issues or concerns. But to be honest with you, it takes a while. So I don't want to keep everyone here if you want to do that. But it takes some time to hunt down exactly what went wrong in your COGS, in your inventory. But if there's other questions, Magna or Melanie, you guys can ask them. But otherwise, I think if Briss, you have time, we can start hunting down your COGS issues and try to fix them.
I'm good. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm good too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
So Briss, do you want to hunt down those COGS issues, or are you going to try to figure it out?
I would like
by yourself?
you help me to find out what
Okay.
is my mistake, because I was making a several review and I didn't find. You grade those reports or those statements, and I have a great
Yeah.
a good score, but even though I would like to discover where is my mistake.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. So let me log into your again. I'm gonna open this up and let's start. I'm gonna share my screen. And if it freezes, let me know, because like I said, it's known to freeze on me whether I like it or not.
Okay.
So let's go to first our trial balance. And then we're gonna be hitting these a lot. And then also these inventory valuation detail, but let's start here and determine what is off and what is not off. So we have our trial balance for March, the most recent month, or the most recent grading period. So we're just gonna go down, inventory's on, which is fine. Let's see P&L. If the inventory is on, but your COGS are off, most likely, well, actually, I'm just gonna keep looking before I say anything. Sometimes I speak before I think or before we get to a point where it's helpful. So 51, okay, so that's on, perfect. And then we go to balance sheet. Now, assuming all this is on, did I already check this? No, I did that. Oh, that was, okay, so 319, 116, all that's on, good. Now we'll get to sales by customer, summary. I think I may have highlighted the wrong report.
Sales by products is where I said the difference.
Got it. So we have not specified that matches cash discounts. We have the cash discounts for 13K, so that's fine. Now the COGS, let's go one by one essentially. 2670, that's there. 3136, that's there. 4300, that's there. 1320, that's there. 1280, where's 1280? Right there. So Wasatch Gators is different. So I'm gonna highlight this. That yours is different. 1060, that's there. 475, that's different. Wasatch Hydrator Day Pack. 575, so those are different. 3200, that's there, and 2697 is there. So we just have to find the difference between these two. Wasatch Gator is 150. Our quantity is correct on both of them, but our amounts are not correct. Well, cost to purchase is correct, COGS is not correct. So let's go back to our inventory valuation detail report, which is here under sales and customers.
Mm-hmm.
And we can come here and look back to all of it, and we can customize this report to just see our ones that we want. So we want Wasatch Gators and Wasatch Hydrator Day Pack. So those are the two we have. So the Day Pack, we have a sales receipt. Let's see here. And right now I'm just looking for anything that looks odd to me for any reason. So 30, 40, we have the rate at $10. We have this Heptel bill at $12, $9.50 for Justice Distributors. And this is $4.75, which it should be. And then I think yours was a little higher. if I remember correctly. So let's go to the bill in February. Which one is this one? This is April. We haven't touched April yet. So let's open up our February bill. And see what February should look like. And our January bill. Because some of these might date back to January depending on how much inventory you have on hand. We have February here, and we're looking for a hydrator pack first. Wasatch Hydrator Day Pack. Get that off my screen. Can I move this? Hide video panel. Stop share. Share. All right. So February, why am I not finding Wasatch Day Pack? Maybe it's just a day pack. Oh, hydrator, because there's a typo. So on February 6th, we have a bill quantity of 40, unit 10. 4010. Yeah, so that's putting inventory in. Quantity 7. Unit price there. We bought it at 10. That's what's in on inventory. That's fine. Yeah, okay. What is this? February 8th. We have 40 at 65. Or 40. There's 40 of them at $10 each for the same invoice. That's fine. 10 on the 9th. Yeah, that's fine. And then we purchased 30 at 12 and put it on an inventory valuation at 360. So that's fine. 120 at 950. So that's fine. So that's all of February activity. So let's go to January activity for that same day pack. We have the first purchase of 2, or the first sale of 2 of them, and we had 10 to begin with at $10 each. So we sold 2. So that's that. That makes sense. We sold another 2 on the 24th. So that makes sense. We sold 1 on the 24th. So that makes sense. And then we had on the 27th, we bought 71 at $10. So that makes sense. We had 39. We sold 39 at $10 cost. So that makes sense. And then we're into February. All right. Let's go to March. March day pack. So this is a purchase order on March 1st. So we are the supplier, we're shipping it out. We have 30 of them. The same invoice, 30 20 for 10, 10 for 12. We had 50 there and quantity on hand. Well, we had 20 at $10. And then we purchased 50 at $12. And then 120 at $9.50. So 20 of them got sold at $10. Those are the last remaining ones at $10. The rest were cost of $12. We're at 30. And the UV 10 eat away at the $12 ones. So 12, 12, that's 24. Oh wait, no, that's 30 right there, and that eats away all the $12 ones. Discount due upon receipt. Well, that's not affecting their costing. Our COGS, that's another 10. And then finally here. So what what are we off by? Day pack, 560, 475. Quantity on hand is 50. Average price is 56. COGS is 560. Let's do some simple. Minus 475. $85 is the difference. Was it off in February too? Day pack 1130. Hydraulic day pack 570. February it was off. So I know there was an issue in February. What about the Gators? Was Gators off? Am I looking at this right? Sales by products and service summary report. Dude.
What?
I'm on a call. All right, let's see. What are we off by? Day pack. Order memo. Buying. Selling. Where's our beginning balances on these? 10. That's on though. Like I said, this is not a short process, but we can figure it out. Let's figure it out. Let's go back to this again. We'll just look for our February dates now. No, our February dates weren't on either. We'll just focus on the day pack first. So quantity on hand by the end of February was 107. Right now we have 160. Why is that? We started out with, oh. Quantity on hand. Oh, this is movement of quantity on hand. We had 10, we minus 2, got 8, minus 1, we got 5, we added 71, got 76. All right, let's double check what I just walked through. So order memo February 6th. We bought 40 of the day packs at $10 a piece. So that's what we have, 40 at $10 a piece on February 6th. Check. And then next we sold 7 on the 7th. And then we, on the 8th, sold vendor, we sold 40, $10 a piece. Am I missing something? And 10 on the 9th. And then order memo of 30 at $12 a piece. That's accurate. And then 120 at $9.50. What is this 50 on the 27th? So that's not there. Is it just a timing? Did we put it in the wrong month? Where is so quantity on hand by the end of March? This is March. It's 50. And right now we're showing the end of March. Oh, that's 50 movements, not 50 on hand. This is quantity. I don't think this ever shows us our quantity on hand. Right? Because we sold 50 in the month of March, which is 20, 30, and we sold 50. But what is on hand is here in February. $107. We sold 107 in the month of February. Well, it had 107 movement in the month of February. So 40, 47, 77, 87, 97, 150, 97. So 107 was just the sold amounts. No, that's not right. We brought in 190 and subtracted 57. 190 57. That doesn't make sense. But nonetheless, I think we're missing something in February, are we not? this last bill to Simpson Specialty Outfitters. On the 27th.
But if I didn't record that sales, then why the sales and the inventory? It's okay in the my statement.
There is a invoice for that 227 for 18. So this invoice of 8,200. We have the Wasatch Gators and the Merino roll top. So this
Oh,
is
are not
incorrect.
those are it's another product. Yes,
So we had 50,
50.
and that's the total. So save and close. Make sure, yes. So it probably all came out of the wash, like on your financials, because you recorded it. But for costing purposes, it didn't get applied to the right SKU number.
Yes.
So now let's go back to your March numbers and see if your March numbers are where we want them. Because those are the two that we played with, and those are the two that we had issues with. So let's play with this number now. Voila. Perfect.
Right.
So we have the 475, we have the 1280. So just a small typo, and you applied cost or activity to one and not the other. So
Very good.
we're good to go now.
Thank you very much. You grade
You're welcome.
my statement. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.